All right, guys, check this out. We all know Grimes, right? She was the main squeeze of Elon Musk for quite a while there. I think she had his son, which has a crazy name, which we won't get into. But she said this in Rolling Stone, and this was in the month of December, okay? And she said this. She called NFT gaming a tool for radical wealth distribution. Now, of course, we know this because we've been playing Gods Unchained on this channel and kind of eyeballing what the rest of the gaming, NFT, and crypto world looks like. But if you have NFTs in the sense of selling them, and that term is just bombastic, radical wealth distribution, right? The only thing we ever hear about with distributing wealth is redistributing wealth, okay? And that's, of course, because of centralized systems. That's because of, out of control, power-hungry governments and the rest of this stuff. I won't get into that. That's for another day and another channel. But the idea here is that people are actually spending their time and making a living with NFT games, all right? And so I thought it was interesting to note that she's made millions of dollars just selling her own NFTs. So she knows, she's clearly, it helps to be famous. That's obviously one of the biggest things with this is you can't just create NFTs and not really know anything about anything and have nobody know who you are. Otherwise, your NFTs will be worth nothing, okay? But not only that, so this is a good example of exactly the article she cited when she was referencing this, okay? And this is pretty nuts. If you go to restofworld.org, and of course these links will be in the description down below. And by the way, before we get into the rest of this, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Check this out. The headline here is, workers in the global south are making a living playing the blockchain game Axie Infinity. And so that's not a game that I've played. It's one I've been kind of keeping an eye on. It's one of the big dogs, probably the top dog as far as NFT gaming goes currently. It's part Pokemon Go, they say, part NFT economy right here in the subheadline. But I think the nutty part about all of this is that we're getting to a point where people in some parts of the world are already making a living playing these crypto and NFT games. And it's just what the future looks like. And that's why I want to talk about this a little bit today, because in terms of not just Axie Infinity and maybe people in the Philippines and other places starting to play these games and actually make more than they would on a normal wage, well, we have this happening, and they're actually playing these things full-time, leaving their jobs to mine crypto, to mine NFTs that they can sell, cash out for crypto, and then of course become good old-fashioned dollars or pesos, as the Philippines currency actually is. So crazy enough, right? That's what we're talking about right now. And so the question I have is this, right? As this begins and we're talking about this and Grimes and that term, radical wealth distribution. Well, is Gods Unchained one of those games? So I'm wondering. So I looked up this particular thing, Gods Unchained NFTs, all right? And there's this website called nftstats-stats.com. Again, link will be in the description below. Check this out. This is pretty nuts. It says NFTs sold in the last 24 days of Gods Unchained. And I don't know where they're collecting this data from. I would imagine that it would be locked into their blockchain somehow is where they get the data. But if you notice, they're not even talking cards in this. If you scroll down a little bit, they're talking about NFTs sold in the last 7 days for Gods Unchained 24. Trading volume is $36.5 thousand. Average price is $1,500. You see, that's kind of high, right? For a brand new sort of still alpha state game that hasn't reached mobile game status, and a ton of people have not played yet. All right. So interestingly, we have not just that. Look at what they're actually tracking here, right? The Genesis board. All right, they've got one that said sold 13 days ago for $5.5 thousand. Another one 20 hours ago, $3,895. See, there's a lot of Genesis boards, right? And so these are NFTs inside the games themselves that aren't even the cards. They aren't even the gods tokens. They're talking about these boards and the Hyperion Black Star trinket. Maybe you've seen some of these, or maybe you have some of these yourself, some of these trinkets that are kind of sitting on these boards or whatever. I saw a few and was like, what the hell's going on here? But look, they seem to be decently rare, and they're selling for thousands of dollars. If you scroll down, hundreds of dollars. It just depends, right? So, and as always, the values of these things fluctuate. So I'm not trying to say that this is anything ridiculous in this moment. However, again, the crazy part about all of this is that there seems to be markets happening within Gods Unchained for these other NFTs that aren't even cards yet, right? I mean, cards clearly are the most valuable at this point because you can earn more cards with, a superior deck. Like we looked at 2 weekends ago, we checked to see that the top cost of the top 3 weekend decks, and we'll do that again if you guys are interested in that type of content. But basically, the top deck was $3,500 approximately for all the cards in the 30-card deck, and then we had what was his name? I think Grandmaster had the most expensive deck at about $5,300 in the top 3. Okay, and he actually placed third, most expensive deck in the top 3, and he was third place. But you see what I'm saying here? It's not just the cards. It's not just the coins. There's going to be a whole bunch of other things that they can build into this game. And as people start to adopt it in mass, well, where are we headed? And so anyway, that's the idea of this video. And I just wanted to point out that Grimes says utopia could be, well, brought about through NFT gaming and some sort of universal basic income used through gaming NFTs and gaming crypto. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? If you love the channel, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll be doing more of this.